it would appear that Stratus has decided that A, Breezy is not going to fly over here and chase Maureen off and be his mate. And B, Limey is not going to fly over here and beat the shit out of him for stealing his girl. So he just seems to have decided that this could work after all. See that? Kiss, kiss. Nest box. Kiss, kiss. Nest box. Just happened today. I have to say I am having a red letter day as a budgie breeder today. So the day before yesterday, this is Haverty and his girl Lacey in there. They only have 4 eggs. She's older, and it's not surprising that she would quit at 4. I looked in and I thought I saw an egg with a pip in it, a little hole like a chick was getting ready to hatch. But then the next couple of times I looked, I didn't see anything. I was like, didn't I see an egg that was pipped? And I waited and I thought, well, maybe it'll hatch the next day. And all day yesterday, nothing happened. So this morning I came out and looked into the box, and there was an egg pushed into the corner. Lacey had clearly opened it up, as hens will do if a chick's taking too long. But the chick was visible, but not moving or anything, and she pushed it off in the corner like it's dead. So I pulled it out of the nest box, and I started looking at it to see, why did this chick die? How come it didn't hatch? And so I pulled I'm thinking it's dead, so I just pulled the shell right off of it. And it was like stuck to the shell and kind of dried out. And then when the little naked chick was just laying there on my nice warm hand, it moved. It was icy cold. But the minute it took maybe 3 minutes to warm it up in my hand, it started kicking and peeping. So I thought, well, it's really dried out. I mean, really dried out. So I took it inside, and while I still held it in the palm of my hand, I mixed up some electrolyte solution and just put a couple of drops on its beak. And the interesting thing was, I've never handled a chick that young, you know. And the interesting thing was, the minute it realized that I was trying to give it something to eat or drink, it rolled itself onto its back, which is the position that mama budgies feed their babies on. And then I gave it a couple of drops, and it rolled itself over onto its face and turned away from me. I was like, all right, I guess it's done. So by the time I took it out here and put it back in the nest, I could visibly see a drop-sized amount of fluid in its crop, and it was peeping, which is what it would need to do to get its mom's attention. So I dropped them in there, and when I was putting them in, I think I saw another egg getting ready to hatch. So we'll take a look and see if I was successful in a minute. But we have a whole lot of other things to look at too. Oh look! Sky's not in her box. That's 3 babies. Yes, she stops the minute I close the box. She's figured out if she shouts at me loud enough, I'll leave her alone. So we have 3 babies in there. She's right on time. That was a baby hatched on the 12th, the 14th, and the 16th. So they're going for the gold here. Now, she's a first-time mom. I mean, she's laid eggs and nested before, but she's never had this success with raising the chicks. So I'm keeping an eye on younger chicks on this girl, because first-time moms tend to not have much luck with the youngest chicks. Up here, I'm kind of disappointed that Matilda and Izod haven't produced a second baby. I really would have liked to, but the one in there is really kicking and doing well. And I kind of thought about it for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. These two, Matilda laid these eggs and sat on them the same time that Gidget did, and the one fertile egg that she had, the embryo died in the shell. And Rainbow, who had 4 embryos that died in the shell. So if she managed, it would be like Matilda to be the one that manages to pull an egg through a hard freeze and managed to get at least one to hatch. So I guess I should count my blessings that we got one and not be disappointed that the others didn't hatch. Although I haven't completely given up yet. Last time she hatched the first chick and the last chick, and they were literally 10 days apart in age. So I'm just going to wait, give her lots of time on those last few eggs. But that one baby in there is fat and sassy, and I have one of what I need. So we got 3 babies there. These 2 are just going along. I expect Gidget will start laying again sometime soon. And let's take a look and see what Luscious is doing. Oh, Luscious. Luscious. She laid an egg. And she's sitting on it. And she didn't get egg bound. And it's in a nice, reasonable amount of time. From the time I put her in the cage, she took 8 days from the day she was introduced to the cage to lay the egg, which is a normal amount of time. She didn't wait 3 weeks. So I have high hopes. The only thing is, this is a fertility check for Vistus here. So there is every possibility that he's infertile, but at least we're not going to lose the hen over this. And we now know that she is certainly fertile. Why she had so much trouble the first time? Maybe because he was infertile, or maybe because she's an older hen and it's the first time she's ever actually laid. I don't know. So we'll see. So we got our egg out of there. Let's see. This is Gray. Let's see what his little girl's doing. We got a second baby. Now, those babies are 4 days apart. So what that means is they're supposed to come every second day. So what that means is that one of those eggs failed to hatch. But that's okay. She's still got 3 more that are in line to hatch. So, okay, so let's look at Haverty and Lacey and see if that baby is still with us. Did she take it? Did she? There he is. Yeah, he's looking okay. All right, Mama. I do see another egg in there that looks, it just has the look, a little kind of ring around the center of the egg, like the chick inside of it's getting ready to pip. And this would be the day it would be due. So, and now I know with her, most hens that have a lot of experience will break open an egg long before the chick is actually dead. That's what Matilda did with her little guy in here. He started trying to hatch a day or 2 early. And she let him go at it for several hours, but eventually she pulled him out of the shell. Whereas I could see that she had been working on this baby's shell. It was pretty much opened at the top end, which is what the hen does. When the baby's trying to break out of the shell, it goes around the center of the shell and breaks it down a little bit at a time. When the hen does it, she'll open up one end of the shell. So I could see that she'd opened it up, but she waited too long. I mean, 2 days, you know. So I'm kind of surprised that an experienced hen would do that. But I am glad that she's decided that he's going to make it. She's clearly taking care of him. He looks a lot better than he did when I put him in there about 5 hours ago. So still hasn't made the 24 hours yet, but it's looking good. So I'm very excited about that. I'm praying to God it's a boy, because I'm looking for a sex-linked trait here, and the female can only pass it on to her sons. So give me boys. These 2 are going gangbusters. We haven't got an egg yet, but she's spending a lot of time in the box, so I expect it will happen soon. Next one to hatch, Fluffy and Sprite are due to start hatching out chicks tomorrow. Let's see what Fluff is doing in there. She's got a boatload of eggs. All right, we can go back in and sit down. And then I believe the next ones after her are Scruffy and Laurel a couple days after that. Honestly. And then Remington and Razzle are the day after that. All right. That's very exciting. I am stoked. So I got 3 babies for Sky and Jester. And like I said, I'm at a point now where I'm going to have to start watching, because she's a new mom. He's a new dad. They've never done this before, even though they're older birds. And she's got 2 more viable eggs in there. If she keeps hatching beyond the 3rd chick, things could go wrong for the younger chicks. So, and the obvious choice would be to take, if they have any younger chicks that are failing to thrive, would be to drop them on Izod and Matilda. Just Matilda's an awesome mom, and they only have 1 chick. So that would be the obvious choice if I have to farm them out. Also, because these 2 are both sky blues, the baby will be easy to spot. Sky blue, spangle, and pied. The baby will be easy to tell apart from these guys' babies, which is very likely to be a normal green. So yeah, very exciting. Good news. Look at you. Go in that box with that man. Go on. Yeah, keep discussing it. And my little air sac mite family down here seems to be doing okay. I'll treat them again on Friday, the whole family, including the chicks, now that I know I can give them a little, basically, the chicks, very thin-skinned, tiny little things. You're supposed to put 2 drops on an adult bird, so basically what I did was I dipped the dropper in the jar of medication and simply wiped the side of it on the chick. A very tiny amount. And I will do that again next Friday, because they'll do way better if they don't have air sac mites from birth. So yeah, that's cool. Look at that. They are busy. Lots of babies to feed. Good. Okay, so we got 3 more nests full of eggs, and 2nd and 3rd and 4th babies due to hatch. And I'm telling you, it's all about springtime. The fertility is way up. The success of the survival of the embryos is way up because it hasn't been below 40 degrees. And things are looking good. I am never, ever going to try and breed my birds in the winter again. That is just foolish. And the funny thing is, I knew it was foolish when they told me that. I'm like, birds don't breed in the winter. They breed in the spring. But no, they all told me, no, they have to breed when it rains. Don't listen to them. It's bull. If you keep your birds outside, do not breed them if there's any possibility that temperatures could drop below 45 degrees, because the embryos will die in the eggs. Do not try and breed them in late fall, because the males will all be infertile. It's just a mess. So when you hear that kind of advice from somebody, it's somebody that's keeping their birds inside. So that's it. But anyway, yay! Happy news! Lots of babies!